All right, let's talk about Frankenstein. And I mean the real Frankenstein. Forget the green guy with bolts in his neck, because that's not the story Mary Shelley wrote. We're going to deconstruct one of the most famous and, frankly, most misunderstood stories ever told. A tragic tale about ambition, what happens when you abandon your responsibilities, and what it really means to be human. So, get this. Our story doesn't even start in some spooky castle. It starts at the literal edge of the world, in the Arctic. An explorer named Robert Walton is out on the ice and he sees, well, something he can't explain. This absolutely massive figure on a dog sled, moving at an impossible speed across a landscape where no person should be able to survive. You see, Walton is a man who's completely obsessed. He's chasing fame and glory, trying to get to the North Pole. But his grand quest gets totally derailed by this bizarre sighting, throwing him right into the middle of a mystery he never saw coming. And then, the very next day, things get even weirder. Walton's crew finds another man out on the ice. He's a European, and he's on the brink of death, just completely broken by the cold and exhaustion. But he's not just lost out there. Before he even agrees to be rescued, this guy, who is literally freezing to death, asks them a question. He wants to know which way their ship is going. I mean, what? This isn't just some lost traveler. This man is on a mission, a desperate one. So the stranger explains he's chasing that giant figure they saw the day before. And when Captain Walton mentions his own grand ambition, his own quest for glory, the stranger just stops. He sees a little too much of himself in Walton, you know? He recognizes that same fire, that same obsession that led to his own total ruin. And that's when he decides to tell his story, as a warning. The stranger's name is Victor Frankenstein. And his story starts in a surprisingly happy place, a wonderful childhood in Geneva. But even then, there was this hunger in him, an unstoppable desire to know things nobody else knew, to uncover the biggest secrets of life and death. So Victor's journey down this path began with him being fascinated by old, forgotten alchemists. But when he gets to the University of Ingolstadt, one of his professors basically laughs in his face, telling him he's wasted his time on useless nonsense. But then, another professor gives a lecture that completely changes everything and plants a new, much more dangerous idea in his head. Yeah, that lecture from Professor Waldman, it becomes Victor's entire world. He suddenly realizes that modern science could give him something way beyond what the alchemists dreamed of. It could give him the power of a god, the actual power to create life itself. And that's it. That lecture sends Victor down a really dark and lonely road. For 2 solid years, he just disappears from the world, driven by this one obsessive thought. He's going to figure out the secret to life and bring something inanimate into the world. Now, his work is grim. We're talking haunting graveyards, collecting body parts from slaughterhouses. He gets sick, he gets pale, he cuts himself off from his family, his friends, everyone. He basically becomes a ghost, totally consumed by what he himself calls his filthy creation. But you gotta understand his mindset here. He doesn't see the horror in any of this. In his mind, he's this visionary genius about to become the father of a whole new species that will worship him. The ego is just off the charts. And finally, after 2 years of all this, the moment arrives. On a miserable, rainy November night, Victor Frankenstein stands in his workshop and he gets ready to do the unthinkable. The result is an absolute catastrophe. See, he'd picked out all the features to be beautiful, but when life sparks into this thing, it's a monster, a grotesque horror show. And that beautiful dream he had, it doesn't just vanish, it curdles into pure disgust. And right here, in this critical moment, Victor makes the worst decision of his life. He doesn't try to help it, or teach it, or even look at it. He just runs. He runs away and abandons his creation, all alone in a world it was never prepared for. So Victor gets sick, like brain fever sick. And when he finally recovers, he does everything he can to just forget, to pretend that night never happened. He hopes his creation just wandered off and died. And he tries to go back to his old life. And you know what? For 2 years, it actually seems to work. He hears nothing, sees nothing. He lets himself believe he got away with it, that he dodged the consequences of what he did. And then the letter comes. A letter from his father that just shatters his world. His past didn't disappear. It's back.
and this time it's covered in blood. His youngest brother, William, has been murdered.
Victor races home to Geneva. He's getting close to the city when this massive thunderstorm erupts, and in a flash of lightning, right near the spot where his brother was killed, he sees a figure.
It's him, the impossible height, the hideous shape. There's no mistaking it. It's the wretch, the filthy Damon, as he calls it. And in that one chilling second, Victor knows. He knows exactly who killed his brother. You just have to look at the timeline. It's so clear. It's terrifying. First, he creates and abandons this being. Then, 2 years of total silence. And then his brother is murdered. And the creature is standing right there at the scene of the crime. For Victor, there is zero doubt. The full weight of what he's done just crashes down on him. He didn't just make a thing. He made a murderer. By running away, by abandoning his responsibility, he is the one who unleashed all this pain on the world and on his own family. And that, right there, is the question at the very heart of this novel. Victor sees his creation as an evil demon, a monster who loves to cause pain. But the story forces us, the readers, to ask a much harder question, a question that is just as powerful today as it was 200 years ago.